What's going on to all the kings and queens out there? Welcome to another episode of the Wakanime Nation podcast. I'm your boy Hisagi, joined by my brother Hook. What's going on, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Just staying good, staying safe out here. How you doing?
I'm excited. We last episode we talked about Tower of God. That those last two episodes I think was fire because the episodes before that weren't. You didn't like them so much, and I didn't either. For the first time, I agree with you. But yeah, this finale it was pretty interesting. There was some good little revelations that we got. How did you feel about it?
I mean, you call it a finale. I call it a prequel to episode one. But to each his own. We see different things. I just learned that women can't be trusted. Like, not at all. You give them everything you got, and then it's just like, you know what? I don't need you anymore. But hey, to each his own.
Dang.
The tower is a dangerous place, bro.
It really is. I think they should change the phrase from Tower of God to Tower of Betrayal, because that's exactly what we got in that last episode.
Exactly.
Like, it ended off with all of us I'm pretty sure it wasn't just me and you, Hook. I think it was everybody else shocked.
It's just like the test was given, results were made, and then everything changed. And I'm just like, okay, well,
right,
that's what we're doing now.
Right. So yeah, basically last episode we're just gonna pick up and let you guys know what we thought about this final episode. In a previous one, though, we were blown away because one, we found out that Bam's his girl, or the girl that he loves that taught him everything, Rachel, she wasn't as paralyzed as we thought she was.
Exactly. She just played her role to play him.
Right. She played it perfectly, bro. It was on another level. Yeah, she stood up. She showed us that she actually isn't paralyzed, and she pushed that man off of the platform, and Bell ended up falling to what seemed at the time his death. So yeah, we picked right up off from that, and this episode, it was all about Rachel.
Yeah. That's why I call it the prequel, because it shows before Bam got into the tower, because all we saw was Rachel leaving Bam, and then now it shows where Rachel was in the tower trying to take the test, and she was too scared. Like, she was like, I can't do this. Is this right. What the tower is like? And then Hedon was like, well, since you can't do it, we're going to show you who was really supposed to come into the tower the first time. And then pops in Bam. He's just like, all I want is Rachel, whatever I got to do. And, he proved himself. And she was just like, there's a big difference between me and him. And I'm just like, that should be your clue. Don't travel. Don't go up this tower.
I thought that was a pretty big revelation to us, because we started off in episode 1 with Bam trying to chase after Rachel and get into the tower. And then in this final episode, what we find out is that Rachel actually wasn't inside of the tower. She was literally on the sideline because she couldn't get in. And she was watching Bam take the test. And like you said, he did what she couldn't. Isn't that one of the worst feelings? I don't know if I don't think I've ever had this experience, but you trying to get in the club and you find out you can't get in. That's basically what happened to Rachel.
I learned that the hard way when I was 17 trying to get in the club, and they was like, you're not old enough for this. So basically, I knew how Rachel felt, but it just wasn't working.
You on the sideline watching everybody else ascend and go in.
I'm 6 foot 240, and they just like, hey, I'm sorry, you just ain't old enough. I'm like, dang, I'm bigger than half the people in there, and I can't get in. Well,
It'd be like that sometimes. But Rachel was like, I'll do whatever you want, let me in here. And we got another revelation in this episode. The huge guy. So when we were introduced to Rachel for the second time throughout this season, during the huge fight that they had, and it was this guy named Ghost, along with Rachel and then Dorsey, as a team. And Ghost apparently was created by Hedon, and that was, I don't know, that was as a companion or a partner to go up the tower with, because Rachel was complaining that, she didn't have a cool weapon like Bam.
Yeah.
Um,
Like Rachel
yeah,
gave
I
every
don't know,
excuse in the
Brett.
book. She was like, "I'm not strong enough. I can't crack the egg." He's like, "You know what? I'll give you this until you can pass this first test and your only test. It's basically to take Bam out the race. Like that's all you had to
Right.
do."
It it was so strange, bro. It was so strange. So yeah, she gets Ghost, and we found out Ghost was actually just
A ghost.
kind of like Rachel's companion, right? Um, and then some more revelations, some more betrayal. I think you sensed this, but Hong Son Yu, which is the ranker, or the test administrator, um, when he got into a confrontation with Lero-Ro, I think you were mentioning it, and previously in the earlier episodes, or maybe offline, how you was like, "Yo, I don't trust him. He's up to something." But we found out he really was. Basically, it sounds like everything that happened, even with Rachel betraying Bam, went according to his
His,
plan.
yeah,
And
he was like, "Man, I need him for something else. I'm gonna store him to the side." And even since the beginning he got there, they was like, "Yeah, he's basically like what was the I don't know what the exact term. I think he's like a baby tiger. Like he wasn't fully developed yet as
right,
to what
right,
he could truly be. So I guess they want
right,
to take him to the side, let him train up a little bit so he can do what he's supposed to do because he
right,
is an irregular, and
right,
everybody that follows Jihad wants to get rid of all these irregulars because they pose this true threat to him.
right. So it seems like Hong Sang Yu has this like grand plan for Bomb, and we don't know what it is, but in this episode we found out how Rachel was involved and connected. So it's like Rachel knows what happens, Hong Sang Yu knows what happens. Hedon kind of he's complicit in everything, but all of Bam's friends are like in the dark. So Rachel comes out and they're like contemplating, what are we gonna do? Um, we're gonna honor his wishes, and we're gonna take Rachel up the
Yeah, I
tower.
mean,
Like
Kun was sort of hesitant when Hots brought that up. Kun was like, like you lucky that you met Bam first before me, but I guess since like this is your dying wish, we'll do that for you."
that that was a very interesting moment because it seems like Kun has very strong feelings against Rachel
I mean,
because
all Kun's life he's been betrayed, so it only made sense
that's
that
true.
like he wouldn't.
That is a good
He's like, this
point.
story doesn't sound right.
That is a good point. That's right. And for those of you who are listening, you may not remember, but pretty much what Hook said, they alluded to Coon being betrayed by one of the members of his family, his sister, who was in the running of becoming one of the princesses of Jihad, and she basically used him. So that's a good point. Like, I guess he sympathizes with Bam's position, and he kind of caught that Rachel was doing the same, which sucks. So, but yeah, they're apparently gonna go up the tower. They're gonna take Rachel, and I don't know. I don't know where this is going. Actually, spoiler alert, I do know where this is going. But this was a very interesting way to end the show. Like prior to me actually following or watching the show, like I think I mentioned this in the earlier episodes, but I had already read the manga, and of course I was caught up. So I know what's gonna happen. Nevertheless, seeing the anime adaptation of everything, um I there were some changes that they made. And I have a few mixed feelings, but overall, how do you feel, Hook, about the way this season went?
I mean, I said it before, it was a little bit of a letdown. I wanted to see what the next step was, but it's good to see that like everyone's still alive. Like Bam, even though he's hurt, he's trapped in some area where he can't get back to Rachel, and Rachel, she's still continuing this life that she can't walk and that she needs to be weighted on hand and foot. But all in all, she's working on a plan to just go up the tower and it's normal. She basically replaced Bam out of his life and took it, and it's sort of like weird. That's why
Yeah.
Coon feels. Well, Coon's been betrayed before, so he knows that exact feeling, like you said. So he's like, something's off here. Like this doesn't make sense. And
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't like the animation. That's nothing I've never been afraid to say since the beginning. You said it's a work in progress. It gets better as the more you read. Like when you read it, you got better with time. And I was like, And then now,
Oh.
overall, I think it was a good season one. Wasn't the best. I just couldn't
Mhm.
couldn't get behind it like that because the animation. But the story was good. Uh, I guess because I didn't like the fact that Bam wasn't strong either. So there's a couple things. If I had to give it like a scale out of like 0 to 5, I put it like a solid 3 because
What elaborate? What do you mean about Bam's? You didn't like the fact that Bam was
I mean
weak?
as a main character you want to see your main character develop, and for a
I
season,
see.
for one whole season, you saw your main character be potentially the weakest character out of them all.
Got it. Okay, I love it. So I about the actual about season one of the anime, I felt I have very mixed feelings. There were some things that I thought was real done really well. Sections of the crown game I think was done really well, and then part of the test, I guess episode two, I would say I thought that was done really well also, as well as the episodes 11 and 12, I believe. I
So
think
basically,
those
you
were,
liked a lot of it. That's what you're saying. There was only a couple of few that you were like, eh.
I would say half of the episodes I really enjoyed, and then the other half, there were like change points that were made, and I was just like, what is going on? Like, why are you guys changing this?
Yeah, like one thing we brought
Yeah,
up
it
was probably the endorsing thing, like how she used her weapon and how she could make it expand and not expand and turn it to be like a shield and to be a spear. And I was just like, why did they make that change?
Right, right. That's a good point. And Dorsey just got completely ruined this first season. They ruined, so comparing the actual anime to the manga, the source material, they changed, like you said, how Dorsey fought a little bit. Like, the real is what we're referring to. So that's where people in the tower store their weapons and stuff like that. So the way Dorsey uses it, it was kind of changed in this season. And then also, I like the relationship Dorsey had with Bam. I felt like wasn't even highlighted or expounded upon, and uh that's gonna be at a detriment, I think, to the anime overall if they continue with this, just because they didn't really give Dorsey and Bam moments together in this first season,
All right.
and
Because
that's a
there
problem.
were short periods where like Dorsey was going up to Rachel and was like, well, you should be lucky that like he cares for you this much. Like there were short little bits, but compared to what's in the manga, it wasn't really like it didn't build that potential interest in the future for them to like be like, okay, there might be something there.
Right. And I think they could have done one of the moments was definitely during that whole cafeteria, them eating phase, and Dorsey finally feeling like, she had a place to belong to. But another big moment I thought that they like missed out on was during during the game where they played tag. And it like and Dorsey and Bam had a very big moment together during that whole span of time or those couple episodes. But yeah, they changed some things that I didn't like. Overall, I would probably give this a 2 or 3 as an anime adaptation. I
Wow.
just wish people would treat Tower God. I wish the animators would treat Tower God like they do My Hero. Like My Hero, I think you pay attention a lot more to the manga.
Oh yeah.
It does. It
I mean,
seems
it's
like
ruined towards the
ev-
end right now, but hey,
everything is 1-to-one though, right? They don't really skip anything,
nah, it's all there. Like there's not really much of a difference.
right? Tower God has so much content. They can animate it 1-to-one and give us some fillers
But then,
that can
but doesn't
expound
that
on the
make you
world.
mad? Being like, oh yeah, because it puts along the One Piece path of being this long anime that never really finishes. Are you sure you want it to be like that? Because I think every episode was getting like 5, 6 chapters per episode, so it was moving pretty fast.
I enjoy. I thought it did move fast. The pace was a little interesting. They could have slowed it down a little bit, but I think they had to squeeze it into 13. 12, 13 episodes, so that kind of sucked. Um,
Yeah, I fear that they were trying to
However,
reach a certain part for by some points they were forced to like sort of like condense it like that. Like thinking of that all those 13 episodes, there was no real stopping point. So
yeah,
effectively had to cram as much as possible, which led to things being changed, things being cut out completely, and stuff just not being fully explained. I'm just like, are they gonna go back later and like fit that back in there, or are they just gonna keep it moving?
yeah. I was trying to hold my tongue on this hook, but one of the things I did not like in your analysis that you gave is you one of the things you didn't like, and it's fine. You know, we're entitled to our own opinions.
Mm.
But one of the things you did not like, you said the main character was weak, and you you like to see some strength in your main characters. Um, I'm gonna step away from the anime and just talk about the Tower God
Oh
as a
gosh.
whole. But One Piece starts out and you don't see any growth from the main character. He's just always the strongest person unless he's fighting like one of the top 10 strongest people in the One Piece universe. But his rivals, he's normally like better than them. But we see Tower God. We see
Just to
someone
correct
start out
you,
as
we
a
have seen people that rival him early.
anywho. We see Tower God.
So now you just go. You can't make a blatant statement talking about we don't really see it unless you play fight in the top
Bam
10. But then I tell you that
Bam
there isn't
goes.
that because when you say Smoker, is Smoker top 10?
No, but
Okay, so
that was
basically your statement is false now at this point. So
that was more about devil fruits and
wow, so
powers and
that defeats the point. You said he never loses until he faces a top 10. I just named a character who beat him early, and now you're saying, oh well, it's a devil fruit thing. I just want you to
well,
stay
anywho,
consistent there, sir.
as far as Bam, I like the fact that he wasn't the typical shonen protagonist that we see in anime. And we saw that he can be great when he stopped the rank quant during the game that the tag game they were playing. He actually used Shinsi control to control like multiple bangs more than he should have been able to control. Like stuff like that I liked about Bam. So anywho, overall I gave it maybe a 2.5. You give it a 3, which is a little higher than me. But
I
yeah,
was just being nice because I know this is what you feel is your true new anime to watch now. So I didn't want to insult you.
not anime. I would say manga. Like my opinion on Tower of God is that from like 2010 up until now, it's kind of like this new era of One Piece. So for those of you who haven't read the manga, I encourage you to go read it. It's on hiatus, but it's coming back pretty soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But
Theoretically,
yeah. So I definitely go and read the manga. It's on Webtoon. Download it. I
it's
promise
free.
you
It's
guys,
free.
you'll.
It's free.
It's free.
It's free.
I know,
It's
and
free.
I know. We like to hear that it's free. Anywho, um, definitely check it out. On that note, I think we're done here.
Peace.
Wait,
No,
that's
no, no,
fine.
no,
That's
no.
fine.
Wait. We got one more thing we got to say. Sagi, you wanted to tell him something, right?
Yeah, I know y'all gonna hear this in the outro, but I just wanted to say it again. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what y'all think. Once again, we started from the bottom, but we trying to get there.
I don't think that
Peace.
fits.
Thanks to all you kings and queens for listening. To get more of the Wakanime Nation podcast by your boys Hisagi and Hooked, join the nation by hitting that subscribe button and check us out on Twitter and the gram. Peace.